Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Wokey, and I'm back with another fake Grand Order video. Now, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, today we're going to be taking a look and seeing how many sync quartz and tickets are going to be left for this year, trying to figure out what the grand total is. This is a follow-up to a video I did earlier in the year, back in March, where I took a look in the early part of the year to see from the beginning of 2026 till summer to see how many sync quartz and tickets are in that amount. And I said I would do a follow-up after summer because the way I kind of see FGO is that it kind of breaks down into two parts: the early year where everyone is saving for anniversary and summer, and then the post-summer as we wait for the new year to start and we get ramping up ready again for anniversary and summer. And I said, okay, because that year I usually do them all in one video, but that year I got really busy at the beginning of work, so I cut it into two to make it easier for myself, and it ended up working out because they actually announced some stuff that I would not have been able to pick up on. We have an entire event that I wasn't expecting them to do. So yeah, that's gonna be today's video. I hope you like it. If you do, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to let me know if I miss any tickets or sync quartz. In the comments below, I will have a pinned message where I will always have the total update of how many sync quartz and tickets are planned for the year, as of the recording of this video anyway. And if I messed up in any of the totals or I forgot something, someone will let me know and then I will update it from there. I am, after all, human and also not the greatest at math, but I did try to do my best to find every sync quartz that we could find from what JP got, from what we usually get on our side, and then compile them all together to do my best and help anyone out. But again, only human, and humans make mistakes, but that's okay. As long as someone corrects me and I get the correct amount and I can fix it, at least you can look at the comment and know if it's the real amount. And speaking of, what's the real amount? Well, this is where we go over to the Wokey doc. Now, I assume most people would probably save this for the end, where they tell you how many sync quartz and tickets are expected for the year, but I'm just going to tell you right now. So based off of my total calculations, there's about 634 sync quartz left in the year and 87 tickets in total. The reason I give this out at the beginning is because the best way to figure out how much is actually going to be there for you is to slowly chip away and take away the sync quartz and tickets you're not going to be able to get. So yeah, in a grand vacuum, if you did absolutely everything, you would get 634 sync quartz. And I've also made some exceptions, like obviously I'm not counting Star Dash or Comeback Campaign. I'm also not including every strengthening. I'm only, or interlude that is new. Only if there's a new interlude, I counted it if anyone could do it. And for strengthenings, I did it for any unit that is possible to get, either through welfare or because they're 3-star or below. In which case, those are free to get. But anything that is 4-star and above and not actually, you have to summon to get them, I didn't include them in the total. So you can either add or minus based off of that. And that's the easiest way to go about it. So yeah, so that's the grand total, 634 and 87 tickets. So some caveats, I already shared some of them. This is also based off of the idea that you are starting on August 8th, which is the release of this video. If you started later, you're going to have to minus some stuff away from it to figure out the grand total for you. But currently, there are 20 weeks and 5 days until December 31st, which is where I'm going to do the cutoff, saying specifically it's December 31st. I know I said New Year's, but it's also December 31st for the last event in there. And even then, there's a couple things that bleed into January. It's actually technically January 2nd, but just to keep it simple, December 21st. You'll see what I mean when we get to the later half of the year. But anyway, we get 3 sync quartz a week from the weekly mission. So assuming that you do all of those over 20 weeks, that's 60 sync quartz. We get 4 sync quartz from the daily login. And if you log in every single day, that's just a simple 80 sync quartz. About 4 months remain for this year. And assuming you already got the 5 tickets from this month's shop, there are 20 tickets in the monthly shop left for us, and then 20 tickets from just logging in weekly. So as long as you remember to do that. And then also, as of this recording, we have about 145 days from December 31st. So that means there's enough for 2 50-day login bonuses, which would be 30 sync quartz and 30 sync quartz for a total of 60 sync quartz. Now, obviously, If you already are 5 days into the next one, that means you actually have a bonus 30 sync ports going for you. But you see, this is the part where I say you have to kind of factor in your own thing here. I can't actually determine where yours is. Like for me, for example, I think I have an additional 30 sync ports coming my way. But to keep it simple, I just say we have 145 days. I'm just going to leave it at 60 sync ports. Feel free to add the 30 to your total if that's so what you wish. This doesn't account to your for your current. Yeah, I literally just thank you, Past Wokey, for writing this down in a Word doc to make sure that I got it all down. I now for some other caveats. Now for the rest of the sync course and tickets, I'm counting the ongoing story stuff that is still possible to right now, and I'm also counting strength things for you. I already explained that. I consider it here the rule of everyone has Uno. It comes with your Xbox, and the count ends on December 31st. So, boom, boom, back to here. Inside of Celeb Summer, we take a quick look. This is the current ongoing event. This is funny just because it's lasting so long. It's here until September 1st, but there's a total of 15 Saint Quartz here, 12 Saint Quartz from the main quest, 3 Saint Quartz from bonus quests that you can see right there, and then 3 tickets in total, which come from the point rewards, which you can see they are 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. Where is 3, 4? Shut my door. It's right here in the 50k. Sorry about that. It's late. But anyway, that is the event itself, and then we move on to Archetype Inception, which is currently still ongoing, which is the new chapter release. We haven't gotten all 3 parts. I've also broken down the total here, so I'm not going to show the specific arrows of it, just in case someone's trying to avoid story spoilers, and there might be something there that could spoil you, but so just trust me on this one. And part 1, there's 10 Sync Quartz from the main quest, 6 Sync Quartz in part 2, 9 Sync Quartz in part 3, and then we get 15 Sync Quartz from the free quests. So we also get one... But that part is like just by completing the main quest, and then we also get a fragment for each arrow in a main quest. So I counted these out as well. 42 arrows in part 1, 26 arrows in part 2, and 39 arrows in part 3. So there's a total of 107 arrows from my count. So every 7 fragments is 1 Saint Quartz. So that's a grand total of 15 Saint Quartz with 2 fragments left over. And now we're going to move over to Ordeal Call Clear Support. So some of them already are out, and I'm not going to count the first one's main set of missions because it wasn't counted to the total because it's already over. These right here, but these other ones potentially here. This is also the reason why I said, like, hey, you're going to have to minus some of these because you may not be able to reach them in time. But you have until September 30th to clear part 1, part 2, and part 3 of Archetype Inception, and if you do, that's a total of 15 Saint Quartz. You'll get 5 Saint Quartz per part that you clear. And then there's also bonus missions where you just have to clear specific nodes, but these are specifically tied to either being able to do an Arc 1 or Arc 2 main quest arrow node. You have to do one of those or Archetype Inception, and then you can do them. Or up to Ordeal Call Prologue, and then or this one, and then yeah, these get 5, and we have another 5 coming, and we already lost 5, so there's a total of 10. I'm just saying there's 10. So 10 Saint Quartz from those missions, 15 Saint Quartz from being able to complete those. If you're able to get them in time, then congratulations. And now we're gonna move over here. Another thing you're gonna notice here is at some point we're gonna talk about it, but time kind of loses all meaning. Because believe it or not, even though we're looking at the JP schedule, this is their September, and you'll notice that we're in August talking about this. So one of the things that happened to them that hasn't happened to us yet and should have happened by now, and I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened quite yet, is Lost Belt 4 Clear Support campaign. Inside here, in terms of Saint Quartz, there's only 3, and it's from a limited time master mission, and all you need to do is clear section 19 of Lost Belt 4. There is also a strengthening here for Rama, so if you want to add 2 Saint Quartz from that, you can. I didn't include it in the total, but I'll at least point it out to you when I come up here. We should have gotten this by now, and we haven't gotten it yet. I don't know what's happening there. It might be a little bit more explanation as to where they might be in a bit as I keep going through it, but for right now, it should have already happened. It has not happened. We're gonna have to continue to wait and see when they decide to do it. So that would cover most of everything, but there is one thing that happens to us at the end of August that does not happen for Japan, which is, let me go here, the back to school campaign. And the back to school campaign is traditionally something that we look as a way to make up an event that hasn't happened for us just yet. So I'm going to show you this one from the previous years, because this was based off of another campaign that we skipped. And they just decided to give us a Saint Quartz there, so I'm gonna assume the same is gonna be happening here. Whether or not anything else comes with it, I don't know. I also don't know if they would keep the same kind of banner type. This is obviously a different exception of anything, but the thing I think they're likely going to do is that we can look over here to the Kyoto International Manga Anime Fair, which obviously we don't celebrate over here because we don't it wouldn't make much sense to do it over here for us, to be honest with you. It'd be kind of cool if we did, but we don't. But from here, Japan got 10 Saint Quartz from login bonus, so I think that's likely where they're going to use back to school to find a way to give us 10 Saint Quartz. Probably either from daily login, or they'll just give us 10 Saint Quartz from the get-go, whatever way they choose to give it to us, but that's where 10 Saint Quartz is going to be coming in. And then in terms of the summoning campaign, I don't know anything about that. I should not look at that. I have like the inner nature in me of always trying to show everything here. But no, we're focusing in on Saint Quartz and tickets. That's the main thing. So yeah, back to school campaign, that's what it's going to be called. We're not going to get this one, which based off of the Kyoto event. But they'll find a way to give us a 10 Saint Quartz there. And that is the end of our August. And now we start September, which for Japan was their October. I actually saw someone say in the comments saying like, oh yeah, 30 million downloads should be in October unless they release it early, and I had no way to say like, hey guy, hand on shoulder, this thing is coming to us in September. not October. It's not coming in October 4th unless they decide to delay it. But because of our accelerated timeline, it comes up a month earlier for us. But speaking of that, Lost Belt 5 clear support campaign, before we actually get to the 30 million campaign, there is something inside here. There are 6 Saint Quartz from limited mission, which are down here, I believe. Yes. And then from these limited missions, you just need to clear Section 25, Arrow 1 of Atlantis, and clear Section 23, Arrow 3 of Olympus. If you've already done those missions, then they will auto-complete for you, as they always do. There are also a bunch of interlude unlocks for people. This is another part where I said like, hey, if you've already done these and these aren't Saint Quartz coming to you, but if you're a newer player and you don't have some of these units on here, they'll be there. But these are also just old ones as well, so it's possible for you to have already completed all these, so they wouldn't really, it wouldn't make sense to make them go towards the grand total is what I'm trying to say here. And but something that does contribute over here is the game update, where Hector gets his strengthening, where his disengage goes from B to Charisma Defense, and that's 2 Saint Quartz for us because everyone has Hector. He'll be your big defender. Big fan of Hector over here. And then the one that we wouldn't be able to tell is Europa and Dioscuri. But if you have them, you can add in 4 Saint Quartz. I wouldn't because I don't have either one of them. But just to show you. And then now we'll move over to the 30 million download campaign. Woo! And 30 million downloads comes with it a whole lot of Saint Quartz. The main campaign, there should be a retweet login bonus, which they'll release some kind of like, yo, retweet us to get everything. And once we do and we pass that, we'll get 30 Saint Quartz from that. From daily login on the 10th day, we do get 10 Saint Quartz. From the Da Vinci shop, we actually get 15 tickets. Typically it's 10, but here it's actually 15. And then from missions, should be a total of 30 Saint Quartz. And these are all based off of the big thing that happens in the 30 million download campaign, which is selecting an SSR. So all these missions, there's an SSR selector ticket coming, by the way. And all of these missions are based off of that. So the way the missions break down is that with your SSR, clear 10 quests while they are in the party, reach final ascension, have one of their skills reach level 3, get them to bond 5, use their NP 3 times, trigger a My Room dialogue, and then clear all the missions, and then you will have absolutely everything here. If you're like me and you're picking someone who you're just getting an MP upgrade for, then every single one of these should just automatically finish for you, unless you are picking an MP upgrade of a unit you have just decided not to use for some reason, which sounds insane to me, but I assume that, you know, maybe I shouldn't assume too much on what people do in this game sometimes. And yeah, that's the basicness of it all. There is also some other campaigns, which is Start Dash and Comeback. I don't include these because Start Dash only applies to players who are starting the game, and Comeback only applies to players who are coming back who have not logged in between a specific point in time. And if that was the case, then all of the stuff that I mentioned beforehand wouldn't have mattered, because they're just starting now. Or they're coming back and they weren't able to get any of the things that I mentioned previously, or they're about to try and get all the things mentioned previously. So just to make it easier for everyone's sake, I just don't include them. But if you're a new player, or you decide to come back specifically when 30 million comes in, then feel free to add that stuff to yours and ignore all the stuff previously that you wouldn't be able to get. And then we have over here, and I think this is actually still over here. Let me see. It might be under other campaigns. Give me a sec to find it. Okay, found what I was, another little thing to make note of here. I had to go all the way to here. Prototype Arthur also does get a strengthening, so if you have them, then feel free to add 2 St. Quartz for you there, but it's not a part of the grand total. Try to not forget your boy. I know it's a sore subject at times, but I swear to God, I did not forget him. All right, now we'll go ahead and take a look at the October, which I guess in this case would be the September pre-release of the campaign for the event that's going to be there in September. So 3 St. Quartz from login bonus. You can see here, make sure to log in for 7 days. And then also certain servants are going to have their interludes unlocked for you. So Sigurd, Yagyu, Munenori, Lancelot Saber, Caesar or Kaiser, Emiya, William Tell, David, Iskandar, Geronimo, Emiya Assassin, Lancelot, Berserker, and Passion Lip. If you don't have any of them, and you can go in and get their stuff right there. But these are also old returning ones. None of them are new, so I didn't include it in the grand total. But again, if you're looking for more ways to get some more St. Quartz, that's some more ways to get them there. And then finally, we get to the actual event in September, which is going to be Fairy Sugoroku. And inside Fairy Sugoroku, we get 14 St. Quartz from this Chaldean broadcast commemoration login bonus. It's not going to be called that for us. They'll just say like stream something bonus, good times, and they'll give us 14 St. Quartz that way. Our boy Geronimo gets a strengthening, so that's 2 St. Quartz for everyone. But of course, Melt, Emiya, and Yagyu also all get their strengthenings as well. So if you have any of them, then you can also feel free to add to your total right there. And then from the main quest, there are 20 St. Quartz in total. And then we get 3 from the missions, 3 tickets from the missions. There's 1, there's 2, and there is 3. Okay, and now we move on. So this is where I'm considering basically the end of September, and we're going to enter October. And because it says Autumn Enhancement Campaign, I'm considering this a part of October. And inside of the Autumn Enhancement Campaign, there are St. Quartz, which is 7 St. Quartz from Master Missions. You just have to clear 7 arrows from main quest between Arc 1 and Arc 2.5 ID, and you'll be able to get all of the St. Quartz totaled here, along with some other stuff that's also tied to it. But that's the basic thing for Autumn Enhancement Campaign. And now here's the part where things get really, we enter what I would like to call like the unknown zone. We are now entering, oh wait, no, there is actually one more thing. So this thing in November, 3,400 day anniversary, is actually happening to us in October 15th. That's when it's going to be there. The reason is that our 3,300 day was July 7th, and 100 days after that should be in October for us, funny enough. Funny how that works out. That's another 10 St. Quartz, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And now we enter the unknown zone, where we don't know what's going to happen mostly in October, but we do know one of the things because they added an event that was originally it got moved over, so it's in April, which is right here. Gouda Gouda Close Call 2021 rerun. This is actually the reason that so it was also I was very surprised to see that they moved Close Call in way earlier. Obviously this led to a lot of people thinking like, oh my god, are they gonna do it? Is this the strange fake? They're gonna make it so that both us and Japan get to have the collab for this year at the exact same time, which I think, like any move that they do now, kind of fuels any speculation for that. The problem with a lot of people is that with that idea is that if you actually look here, and if we go over here to April, we'll see Kumano Hot Springs happened in Japan in April. And then when we look when it happened to us, it was actually in March. So this event was originally planned for us in early March. So I don't know what's going to happen there in early March. I think that a lot of things are likely going to stay the same. What I'm trying to say is, in the easiest way to not break anyone's like hearts as to what they were expecting, is that I don't think that's likely going to happen. But I also said the same. If you had told me, hey Wokey, do you think that we're going to get an entire collab way early in 2027 from 2 years early, I would have said no. But then if you had also asked me, hey Wokey, are they going to release Richard when they did for us? And I would have said no, and then I was wrong. So what the fuck do I actually know? But basically, it's my way of saying I'll let people have their fun speculating. I have no idea. I got Richard wrong. I have no clue. I have no horse in this race anymore. Anyway, and in terms of the actual event, though, it means we do get a little bit more. 2 tickets from the missions, which we can find one right there, and then we can find the other one. Not there. Not there. Right there. After clearing all quests, we get that one, and then from the actual main quest, we get 11 Saint Quartz. Now, over in Japan, they did also have strengthenings for Azuma no Akoni and Sakamoto Ryoma. I expect them to give us those strengthenings over here. I don't know why they wouldn't. I assume if Japan got them for this event, then that means if they're moving the event early, that means we're getting these strengthenings early as well. So that's cool. If you have these 2, then you can add 2 more Saint Quartz to your total for a total of 4. Like me, I'm adding 2 because Sakamoto Ryoma's in it. And then we move on. So that, and now we enter a weird place. What else is there for October? I don't know. I mentioned 3 things. I think that's it for October. So I can't, again, anything more I could say is just pure speculation. But if you want to see how our October looked in the past, this is how our October looked in the past. So there just might not be very many things to do in the game in October, but they also could move some of the specific campaigns that they haven't done, like the Lost Belt 4 one, and maybe even Lost Belt 5 if they delay it hard enough, and it could end up being in October. They could do that if they wanted to. There's no reason for them to be active now other than they want people to catch up with the story. But yeah, that could be something there. But yeah, after that, October is completely out of whack. But thanks to that, now everything kind of returns to normal in November. And everything kind of like snaps back into place and everything's good here. So from November on, everything becomes clear and there's not very many. Actually, that's not true. There's a couple more. But continuing on with the start of November, Lost Belt 6. Clear support campaign. Of course, some interludes that will be unlocked for unsummoned servants. So you can see right here, the Tristan, Percival, Red Hair, Caster Cuchulainn, and Gareth will all be there. If you don't have them, and then they'll be there for you. And then in terms of St. Quartz, there are some found in the limited time master mission where you just need to clear section 29 of Avalon Lefay and you'll get those 3 St. Quartz. And that is it for this specific portion of it all. Oh no, I forgot. Here we go. I forgot, but it's okay because it doesn't actually matter to the grand total. 2 servants are going to also get strengthening, Bubble and Sif and Kid Vinci. But because both of them are not welfare or free to get, then I don't add them to the total. But if you do have them, then go ahead and add 4 more St. Quartz to your grand total here. And then we'll move on to the Mystery House Crafters pre-release campaign, which is just 3 sync quartz. This is simple, login bonus, nothing else. That's all you need to know here. And then moving on, Mystery House Crafters itself has 11 sync quartz in the main quest and 3 tickets inside of the exploration quest. So inside of, hopefully I didn't say free quest, but inside the main quest, there's a total of 11. And inside the exploration quest, we can see the 3 tickets right here. There is 1, 2, a 3, and there's 3, and that's simple enough to kind of look at and go for. And then next after that, we have Interlude Campaign 21. And in Interlude Campaign 21, all of these dudes are getting new interludes. So that means if you don't have them, you'll be able to do them for a small period of time. So make sure that you do them, especially if you don't have any of the units in there. And we will get a grand total of 5 St. Quartz. So 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then 2 here because they don't get a strengthening. And when you don't get a strengthening of some kind, you get 2 St. Quartz. But if you get a strengthening with your interlude, you only get 1 St. Quartz. I don't know why. I guess they said, like, we have to have a reason to have story only, no NP upgrades, and that's the way that they kind of justify it. And there you go on that. And yeah, that's the basic structure there. And then there's one other thing before we move on. So there's actually an NA exclusive event that happens in November and December. And when I say event, it's really more of like a little campaign. It's the FGO Thanksgiving special, which based off of previous years, I decided to put in 6 St. Quartz and 10 St. Quartz from limited time master missions. This is again typically something that they try and say like, oh, we missed a couple St. Quartz here and there, let's just give them a decent bit here. I think last year was 16 St. Quartz, the year before that was 15 St. Quartz, so maybe they'll again up the St. Quartz amount, or maybe they'll go back to 15. I don't know, but I do know based off of previous years it's at least good enough to mention, hey, look at the previous year, 16, I'm gonna assume 16, and if that changes, then that's my bad, but I'm at least confident enough to say 16 St. Quartz. And now that's the end. That's actually not the end of November, that's right. So the actual last thing in November is this advent calendar. What's an advent calendar? Well, an advent calendar is this little thing that you open up to have little tiny gifts inside of it. It's like a way to count down to Christmas. And in here, we actually get a lot of login rewards over the days until we get to Christmas. I believe it actually ends on the 24th, and then it ends here. And the total amount based off of last year, I think it will be likely the same this year, is we're going to get 30 St. Quartz and minimum 5 tickets. That's at least what I'll say. If we get more, that'd be cool, but that's the thing that I assume we get from the advent calendar. The thing that usually changes from the advent calendar is all the side bonusing. The thing that people always want in the advent calendar that we never get is an SR selector ticket, which would be really nice. But we've asked for it, I think, like 3 years in a row, and it's never happened. So I can just assume that it's not happening this. At some point, you have to stop asking Santa Claus for what you want and realize that they cannot afford to give it to us. Though, if we ask hard enough, I think they would actually just give it to us just to get us to shut up. But don't start asking for things in my name and blaming me and making it look like I'm a toxic person because I'm saying, hey, give us this. I think you can afford to give us a single SR selector on fucking Christmas. What do you think? Anyway, it's late. Let's continue on so I can finish it. So yeah, that's the way the advent calendar breaks down. I know I said end of November, but it goes all the way through December. So I consider it really more of a December event, especially with the theming of Christmas, but whatever. I'm getting pedantic with the way I start my own lists here. I actually did include the whole like, hey, if you want to know, this is me fighting with my own demons. This actually starts on the 30th of November. All right, continuing on. Lost Belt 7 clear support campaign. Benny and Naito will get their interlude unlocked for a bit there. So if you don't have them, feel free to go ahead and do them so you can get those St. Quartz from them. And then from the master missions that we have for a limited time, you just need to clear section 29 of Nahu Mikalan. You'll get 3 St. Quartz. which is simple enough. And then the other thing that happens here is a game update for Rasputin. So if you have Rasputin, you get an additional 2 sync quartz there. But if you don't, then you just know that Rasputin somewhere out there just got a little bit stronger. Christmas pre-release campaign. For the event, I should say. We will get 7 sync quartz from limited time master missions. And all you need to do is clear any 7 arrows in main quest arc 1 and arc 2. And you'll be able to get all of the 7 sync quartz found within. And then we move on to the next, which is going to be, so I'm mentioning this, but we don't get this in name, but this is the Fake Grand Order Chaldea satellite station. We don't get these over here, but the things from it inside we do typically get. No, actually we don't get the craft essence. When I say the things inside, it's the sync quartz. So they'll find a way to give us 6 sync quartz, and that's it. And that's probably also why you see like the advent calendar helps like clear up some of those things where it's like, oh, we're missing out on 6 sync quartz. Like, not really. Thanks to the advent calendar, we're able to make it up. So I didn't include the 6 sync quartz from there just because I'm like, we make it up in other places. So it wouldn't make sense to say like, yeah, they'll find a way to give us 6 sync quartz. They already have. They're currently doing it thanks to the advent calendar. And that's how I broke down the total there. If you disagree with me, then I guess you can kind of work it out on your own and add the 6 sync quartz if you so wish. But I have to at least show your work when you're doing math. Christmas event, game updates. There's going to be 4 sync quartz here coming from servant strengthenings, thanks to Altera the Santa and Phantom of the Opera both getting strengthening upgrades, which means that one of these is a welfare and the other one is a 2-star bronze. So that means everyone should have access to them, and if you don't have access to them, then it should not be hard for you to get them. Citonier and Young Gafoy and Chevalier Leon are also all getting their strengthenings as well, so feel free to add 2 sync quartz for any of the ones mentioned if you have them. And then we get 7 sync quartz from the main quest itself, and that's it, because this is the only lotto event in the entire year, so they don't feel the need to give us anything else, because they're like, listen, you fuckers, just go do the lotto. Like, you don't want 3 tickets, you're here to get these materials. Don't even bother us. Like, that's why don't even try and act front on anything here, man. That's why there's only 7 sync quartz in the main quest. We want to get this shit done as quickly as we can. And then we move on to Space Phantasm Moon. Speaking of getting shit done as quickly as you can, this is a raid event, so similar to that, 6 sync quartz in the main quest, because the thing that you care about to do here are the raids. Make sure to do the raids. I should be back because I have a planned trip to Japan in December, and I should be back in time to make the raids. I should also be able to come back in time to do the lotto as well, to do the lotto story for everyone. I probably will start the event itself in Japan, and then as time goes by, come back home and record, or I can ask my brother to do it. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I've already making plans in my head to say, what am I gonna do when I'm gone from my channel for like the 2 weeks that I'm gone? Maybe I'll just have him take over the channel and upload whatever the hell he wants for the time being. Talk about any Fake Grand Order stuff that he wants. But we'll move on. We are obviously not getting a TV special, but we are going to get the thing inside here, which is a countdown login bonus to New Year's. Duh, we're gonna get this. It's a single ticket. There is also a comeback login bonus as well, if you are coming back to the game. So if you decide to not come back into the game till the very end of the year, then congratulations, you could get 30 sync quartz. You did it. You've broken the system. And now the final thing that we get in New Year's is actually the New Year's event itself. That's right, New Year's for us starts on the 31st. So that means that I'm including New Year's campaign into the grand total, because New Year's campaign is coming on the 31st. Now, we won't be able to get everything from there because some of these missions don't actually fully unlock until the 2nd of January. But either way, it would be easier for me to just include this than like wait for near the end of the year and kind of release a video there. I think it makes more sense for me here. And that's why I did the little disclosure there at the beginning of like, you'll understand why things are a little bit funky. But anyway, from the New Year's campaign 2027, we're gonna get 30 sync quartz from logging in. Happy gift. from the panel missions, there's a grand total of 6 Saint Quartz. Not all the panel missions, as I said, are available day 1, but they should be fully unlocked by January 2nd, because they were fully unlocked on Japan on January 3rd, so that would make sense for us that it would be the same. And in terms of the missions you have to do, defeat 6 snake-type enemies, and then defeat 3 snake-type enemies. This one unlocks on the 3rd, so you may as well literally wait for the last day at that point to make sure you do them. Perform 25 friend point summons, clear 1 quest with at least 1 saber class servant in the party, obtain 1 ball-shaped item in quest drops, and then obtain 1 red color item on quest drops, and then you'll be able to get all those there. You get 15 Saint Quartz from the main story progression limited time missions. And you just have to clear 10 arrows of the main story quest from Arc 1, Arc 2, or Paper Moon. And if you've already completed all those, you just simply get them and you don't have to worry about anything else. From the Da Vinci shop, the Da Vinci workshop, it's going to be... oh, we also get from the panel missions, I forgot to mention, 5 tickets total as well. 5 tickets there. And then 10 tickets inside the Da Vinci workshop here. I was wondering where those 5 were, but there we go. 10 right there. And then that's it. I did not include the 5 tickets that you would get from January 1st, because I'm just going to assume that you're going to get those in the new year. If it really matters all that much to you, I guess you could add 5 tickets, but I'm choosing not to. And that's where we finally get to the end, everyone. So that's how I got to my grand total of 634 and Saint Quartz and 87 tickets. Will it be possible for most people to get all of them? Likely no, because like I said, the Ordeal Call one is really rough if you're a new player and you're like, Wokey, I'm in like September. Can I make it in time? I'm like, no, I don't think you can. Not unless you know Life It and choose not to play anything from August all the way to September, then I guess you wouldn't have anything else to do. But anyway, that's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I hope it was helpful in some kind of way. I plan to do another one of these for 2027 that will be released sometime after New Year's, and hopefully I will be able to better release it at a right time and plan ahead. We'll see how it looks like, because like I said, I do plan to go to Japan in December, and when I come back, I'll have to get into high gear and get ready to release the end of everything that I have to. But that's a problem for future Wokey to worry about. But once again, thank you very much. If you want to show support for the channel, then you can leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm getting close to 6,000 subs, which is pretty awesome, because that means I would have gained, I think I had 5,000 at the start of 2026, and if I get to 6,000, it means I have gained another 1,000. And there were some years when I was doing the channel where I would get like maybe a positive of 15, and I would say like, oh man, that was a lot this year. I'm really killing it. So it's always humbling when I see that. So it makes me want to continue doing the best that I can and continuing forward. But enough of the sappy emotional stuff. I'm just getting sappy and emotional because finally this is done and I can get back to playing Marvel Tokon. Well, that's not true. I have to also remember there's some other videos I have to release for August. I can't just go back and play other video games while I wait. I still have to release all this story stuff, but at least this is done. That's great. And yeah, that's it, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be. Until next time, you guys have a good day now. Bye-bye. Peace out.